architectural cost. All right, thanks everybody for being here today. We'll work through the agenda to get ready for our meeting next week. First thing on the agenda we'll have next week is a recognition for some folks from Decatur Fire and Rescue, and I think Chief Thornton will be handling that for us, or maybe Springer, whoever's here. All right. Next is approval of minutes, July 25th, 2022, 1 p.m. special called council work session. July 25th, 2022, 5 p.m. council work session. August 1st, 2022, 5 p.m. council work session. And August 1st, 2022, 6 p.m. council meeting. Any questions? Next we have monthly bills approved, July 2022 monthly bills. Any questions? All right, next is public hearings. Resolution 22-201, approved transfer request for wholesale beer, wine, and liquor to Adams Beverages, LLC at 3424 Valley Avenue, Southwest, Decatur, Alabama, 35603. Lori?
Yeah, that's just going to be a transfer.
That's from Valley Budweiser.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any questions? Do they still employ Wade Weaver?
Oh, I don't know about that. I'll ask.
Okay.
Double check that front on it.
I can confirm that.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, next in resolutions, resolution 22-202, approve request for a special use permit from Verizon Wireless to modify equipment on an existing tower located at 1011 Prospect Drive Southeast. I'm gonna read the other one too.
Okay.
Resolution 22-203, approve request for a special use permit for T-Mobile to modify existing equipment on a tower located at 3917 T San Souci Cave Road, Southwest.
Good afternoon, President, Council, Mayor. David Andrews with CMS. The first resolution is a request for Verizon to modify their equipment at 1011 Prospect Drive. This is at Decatur High's football stadium. It's actually one of the lights for the stadium, and they have cell antennas on above the lights. It's a 120-foot monopole. They're currently providing service from that. They currently have 6 antennas. They're wanting to remove all 6 antennas and all the associated equipment. They're going to replace those with 12 antennas. The neat thing about 6 of these antennas is they're really small half panel antennas, and they'll be stacked one above another. So when you look at it, it won't look like 12 antennas. It'll look like less, but there's actually going to be 12 antennas there. This is being done for a capacity and 5G upgrade for the Decatur High School area as well as the hospital area. CMS has reviewed the application and recommends approval.
All right, any questions on that one? All right, we can go to the next one.
The second resolution is a request by T-Mobile to modify their existing equipment at the tower at 3917 T San Souci Cave Road. This is a 110-foot monopole. They're providing service from it. They currently have 3 antennas mounted on the tower. They're wanting to add 3 additional antennas to this tower, and that's also for a 5G capacity upgrade. CMS has reviewed that application and recommends approval.
Okay, any questions on that one? Thanks, David.
Yes, sir.
Resolution 22-204, approve SRO updated memorandum of understanding.
Chief, you went to that haircut thing at the Back to School Jam Friday.
I did not. Pay for my own at my house, right? This is just the standard SRO agreement for the school upcoming school year that we went through. I've sent it to legal. They went through it. Everybody was good with it. So.
Okay, and was there anything from your?
The only thing that differs from last year is they'd like an SRO officer present at the school board meetings, which is included in that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any questions? All right, thanks, Chief. Resolution 22-205, approved transfer of funds to purchase ice machine. Kyle?
Good evening, Council. This is just some housekeeping. What this will do is essentially move available budget from their operating budget down into the capital budget, since that ice machine is over $7,500. So it's a capital purchase.
Okay, any questions? All right, resolution 22-206, approve agreement with Skipper Consulting for roadway widening of Modus Road Southwest between Lexington Avenue and Shady Grove Lane.
This is just an agreement so they can look at the cross section of the road, and it will take into consideration all the houses being built.
Okay. So is it a traffic?
It's
They're doing
traffic,
that.
they're doing multiple things in
Okay.
the study.
All right, any other questions? Thanks, Courtney. Resolution 22-207, approve budget amendment for cemetery department.
So the ask is for $52,000, and what this will do is essentially get that smaller budget capable of being able to meet all its costs until the end of the year. So kind of a conglomerate of things have happened. We've seen a large increase in grave diggings at the cemetery, and we did just shy of $6,000 worth of cost for these diggings last month. And then an incident occurred with our mowing contract out there. We had the lowest bidder stop providing the service. Went to the second lowest bidder. They couldn't provide the service for us, and so we went down to the third, which is L&L Outdoor Services. They are also a contractor of ours for other areas. They accepted, but they had the ability to increase their cost 10%. And keep in mind, this bid was from March of 2020, so makes common sense. And then lastly, in September, we're expecting a retirement from one of the employees. And with that comes a projected $22,000 payout for vacation and sick. And that's where you get the $52,000 ask to get us able to do what we need to do in the cemetery department.
Do we know why the contractor just up and quit cutting grass?
I'm not privy to that.
One was fuel cost, the other they didn't have labor. And that bid is also based on number of cuts, so depending on how much rain we get, how much grass cuts.
So, and for reference, the lowest bidder was $39,000 for 15 cuts, and what we're currently using is $40,875 for 15 cuts. But again, take the 10% on top of that they're able to do.
On those retiree payout things, do y'all try to budget for that at all? Is there any?
We don't. We keep an eye on them, but because it's a contingency, we can anticipate. You know, if you have 25 years, maybe. But I use Herman as an example. He's been eligible to retire for a long time, so it wouldn't necessarily be the smartest budgeting practice to budget for those things. We kind of have other areas that help out in case these things happen. And if we don't, I can come to council and ask for the funding to do that. So
Okay.
I do want to add two other things, if permission from you.
Yeah, that's fine.
So there's two other additional budget asks that I'd like to add to this resolution since we're kind of making things whole. We've come across these with going through our budget process. So the second ask is going to be for $250,000 for our utilities. Like a lot of other people that have seen their utility bills go up, ours has gone up drastically as well. So for instance, typically we pay in the $210,000 a month range. That bill came in last month for $280,000. So that ask will get us to the end of the fiscal year as well. And then the last ask is going to be for $10,000 in our purchasing department. We recently had a retirement, and that's one of our smaller budgets as well. And that retirement payout was $26,337.
What department?
Purchasing.
What was the payout again, I'm sorry?
$26,337. And that's paying.
I was traveling on that.
That's 400 hours of vacation and 542 hours of sick.
All right. Any other questions on that? So you're just going to add those as separate resolutions? The other two that you're asking for?
I'll defer to legal if
Well,
they
it probably will have to because this is
would like me to
specifically
do
for
that
cemetery.
separately, or
Yeah.
okay, that works too. And I do want to add too on the cemetery piece. Jason and I have talked about kind of the business case of how operations are going out there, and I think he's got a proposal that he's working on with his team to bring to y'all regarding pricing and what we're charging for people to use the cemetery. And that's coming up, so just a heads up on that.
Okay, any other questions? All right, next is Resolution 22-208, approve rescheduling of the October 17th, 2022 council pre-meeting and meeting, and this is moving it to the 24th. We would keep the, that's for the Washington DC trip. We were not gonna have a quorum. I think we have that is a 5 Monday month, and so we'll keep the 10th as the work session and have the meeting on the 24th. All right, any questions? All right, Resolution 22-209, approve mayor's travel expense for the Artemis 1 launch.
Yes, 4 years ago, the previous council administration put in a resolution that allows for travel at $2,500 or less. And this invitation that I received for the Artemis 1 launch from Jody Singer, who is the director of Marshall Space Flight Center, to attend the launch, will exceed that amount, I believe, by $600.
Okay. All right, any questions? All right, ordinances first reading. Ordinance 22-4528 declares surplus and sell 402 7th Avenue Southwest under the Dawn program.
Yes, this is just one of our typical lots that adjacent property owner has approached us about purchasing. Mr. Dawson has already paid what we would require him to pay, so I would respectfully ask that we do a immediate consideration for
Okay.
this, if possible.
All right, any questions? All right, ordinances, ordinance 22, yes, sir. 22-4526, approve annexation 37122 for 1.86 acres located south of 3102 Modus Road Southwest.
Yes, this annexation is a small piece of a larger development that a developer is trying to piece together. That's why it looks a little odd and it's away from the roadway, but it's taking into account that it will be tied to other properties they are acquiring.
Okay, any questions? All right, boards and committees. First is appoint Shakina Crittenden to the Parks and Recreation Board, term expiring December 31st, 2023. And I think these are all partial terms. All right, any questions on that? Appoint Shane Stewart to the Parks and Recreation Board, term expiring December 31st, 2023. Any questions? Appoint Daniel Frith to the Parks and Recreation Board, term expiring December 31st, 2025. Any questions? Appoint Zach Cameron to the Parks and Recreation Board, term expiring December 31st, 2025. Any questions? Appoint Misty Palmer to the Parks and Recreation Board, term expiring December 31st, 2026. Any questions? Appoint Ronnie Dukes to the Parks and Recreation Board, term expiring December 31st, 2022, and I think that would end his second term. All right, any questions? And then G, we do not vote on this. I think it's more informational. Mayoral appointment of Miles Wright to the Housing Authority Board, term expiring August 5th, 2027. Any questions or comments? All right, anything else from the directors?
Yes,
Okay.
Councilman. We asked for a cost savings estimate from the site construction. We just got it in not too long ago. We had asked them for items that they could recommend to reduce the cost of the deck. The original estimate they gave us was $9,888,519. If you look at the items on the back on the Excel spreadsheet, those items, there are actually 6 of them there. As we looked at them, we are saying that the items 1, 2, and 3, we would recommend as a city, or from my office, to be a yes, to go ahead and do those items. And then 4, 4A, and 5 would be a no for us just to keep those items because there's not much cost savings on some of those, and some are really important. So the total cost savings with 1, 2, and 3 being a yes, and 4, 4A, and 5 being a no would be $417,368.
Okay, and just, I kind of want to go through these a little bit.
Sure,
We
go for
we
it.
met, Dane, with Tom Polk and
Yes.
some others in our building department, and some of these are things they had recommended.
Yes.
And things other things that are not in here they did not recommend.
Yes.
But just to be clear on removing the masonry from east and south, those are going to be in the alleyways, basically
Yes.
between the hotel and the deck, and then the deck and the dorm, so
You can't
very
see
low
them anyway,
visibility.
correct?
So we are doing that. Then what we're not doing, removing waterproofing, Tom was pretty adamant that we should not do that, especially with people potentially using the retail space.
And molding issues, yeah.
Yeah. And then charging stations, I know was a discussion. I actually think we should add charging stations. I think that we're probably moving towards a lot more people having electric vehicles, and I think maybe we had some discussion around actually adding conduit to put more charging stations in.
Well, the
That's-
current
that's what
plan
I
is set
remember.
for charging stations. We would have 2 that would be, well, there actually be 4 total, but 2 stations that have 2 facilities on each of them. But you have the ability to add more with the conduit in the deck.
Are they gonna run conduit? Do you know how many they were planning to run?
I think we kept it,
Additional
was
conduit?
it the second floor we had recommended? I think it was on the second floor, we recommended
First and
first and
second?
second floor.
Just putting conduit in.
Yes, putting
Just the
conduit in.
conduit, so we can come
Yes.
back and add stations.
Yes, not adding stations. You'd actually have 4 total stations in the original design, or once they actually
So
put the
this
deck in.
actually says removing waterproofing from 3rd and 4th floor,
Mm-hmm,
and that's a reduction of $90,000.
mm-hmm.
So adding the waterproofing,
The waterproofing was with the original plan, and they said if you removed it, it would have a big cost savings, but with that, you're gonna have molding issues, is what they said to us.
so we are gonna leave the waterproofing in
Yeah,
place?
yes.
Okay, but it's still gonna be a reduction of $90,000?
No,
No.
they're giving us the option.
That would be an
It's a-
option
yeah.
that would reduce it by 90,000 if we remove the water
Okay,
barrier.
we did.
Yes.
So this is not, okay. All right.
Yes,
So, well, any other discussion?
good, that's a good question.
There are 4 charging stations planned, and we're running conduit to accommodate more.
Yes,
Okay.
So you're gonna come back with us with a resolution or to accept the bid with the changes of 1, 2, and 3?
Yes.
Is that what you're planning to do?
Yes.
Okay. I have no issue with that. Any other questions or comments? Thanks, Dane. Anything else from directors? Kyle, we did have one, and Stephanie, you may have to help me. I think Parks and Rec had something they wanted to add to the agenda. Are you aware of anything?
Well, with that, there needed to kind of find
Okay.
an answer.
Sorry.
That's okay. And they said not at this time.
Okay, just kidding.
We're good.
All right, any other directors? Mayor?
Nothing.
Okay, anything else from council? All right, we're adjourned. Thanks.
Thank you.